All right, so we hit 2 o'clock. We're going to get the event started. Raymond, thank you for your time today. As just a quick introduction, in this event, we'll discuss how to create a culture of winning with your sales team by leading through example. Raymond Little is the CEO of Perimeter Roofing and has led his company to generate over 110 million in sales over the past 5 years by creating a culture of winning. To quickly introduce your mindset, here's a few Facebook quotes that caught my attention and made me reach out to you for this event. So the first one that really caught my attention was a culture of winning is a culture of positive, healthy living at work and at home. Numbers don't lie. Leadership starts up top. Success is rented. Got to pay that rent daily. Let's go. If you aren't hitting these numbers, look around. Look around you. Are you with the right team? So that was the first quote that really hit home with me. Second one was leaders focus on their team, not themselves. Companies run by leaders' numbers reflect it, and culture shows it. And then the last one that really hit home with me is leading from the top. If you've never sold millions, how can you train your guys and girls to do it? Lose the boss mindset and get out there with your team. So, Raymond, appreciate you joining today. Just the first question we'll dive into is basically what aspects and things have you learned to be the most important to focus on when building a culture of winning with your team? We got it. Sound's giving off for a second, so one moment.
Okay.
All right, now I can hear you. Let's start from this front.
Early on into in building your team, running your company, I think the most important thing is you go out there and you put up big numbers. You lead by example, right? You can't just open a company up, or you left another company as a sales rep, and you're going to open your company up, but you're not going to sell anymore. You got to lead by example. You got to be the last one to win. You need to be the first one out. You need to be, like I said, and many other times, you're trying to replicate winning, but you need to be. I think that's the biggest goal, is just lead by example. Also, leading by example on the weekends, off the roofs, on the roof. That's the biggest thing. You don't play on the weekend on Saturday and Sunday. I think the first 3.5 years that we were open, we were working 7 days a week. And now you'll see me racing bikes on the weekends and stuff now. But the first 3.5 years, I kind of put all my hobbies to the side. I put all my kids' events to the side. I did, but that was, I was picking and choosing my future. You know what I mean? By building my team.
No, that's awesome, man. So I've actually had a few conversations about that, of kind of having to sacrifice a little bit of now to be able to build that future that you wanted, to where it seems like you're now being able to enjoy the fruits of that labor. So love that answer. I kind of want to dive more into just like your team and how. So question 2 is, how do you help your team build their own legacy?
So the biggest thing with with the team building aspect is you see the guys that are, you'll see me on the leaderboard, and you see the guys that are ahead of me. There's no cap out here. They're bringing people on. They're getting overrides on their guys. They're essentially, they're 50-50. They go to they sell a certain amount. They hit a certain goal, and then they go to 50-50. Once they go to 50-50, they can also bring more team members on and ride on their team. So they're essentially their own LLC, their own workers inside my company. Where there's no cap out here.
Love that.
Oh, yeah. There's no boss. There's none of that. We're all out here.
So it's like almost an infinite pyramid of teams. So you're just constantly building on top, and then people are rising, then bringing in people underneath.
I mean, that's it. Like if somebody even says on Facebook, they work. Who does that guy work for you? I said, nobody here works for nobody. We all work together.
I love that mindset. That's awesome, man. So going into that, with building that team, how do you hold yourself accountable to your team?
Just the numbers, man. The numbers and that, and like I said today, here it's raining. If there's a tarp situation going on today on a 12-12, I will be there. Leading by example, man. The biggest thing is, I'm not sitting here and saying, man, what are y'all doing? Y'all aren't turning any jobs, man. We're not building any roofs. No, if I have to, I'll knock and let them climb, or they'll knock and I'll climb. We get it all together. It's not I'm just sitting in here watching AccuLinks, waiting for millions of dollars to magically appear in AccuLink, right, to get billed. No, I have 2 business partners I'm also accountable to. One does production, one's an admin, but if I fly out to Nashville to, to go sign roofs, and I can't just fly back come Sunday and say, oh man, I couldn't make it happen, dude. I don't know what to tell you. So it's accountability from my business partners also.
It's awesome. Going into the next one is, how do you know when someone will be a good fit for the culture you have built?
We usually weed them out pretty quick, man.
How do you do that? Yeah.
If they're hyper focused, man, you have to be hyper focused to be with this team. There's really, if you're showing up late, that'll get you. I mean, you're not gonna make it here long doing that. First starting off, if you're not getting the deals that you want, if you got to be home at dinner at 5:30 every day, or if you got plans, this probably isn't the culture for you.
Okay.
Everybody here is trying to hit those big numbers.
Do you have any kind of procedures of that, of like when a new sales rep is coming in, of kind of following those guidelines, or is it just kind of you're observing and they kind of weed themselves out naturally just because they're just not able to perform to the level of everybody else performing?
Yeah, I mean, there's Jared too. Jared just joined us. He just hit $2 million today.
Congratulations, man. That's a huge accomplishment. That's super cool.
So basically, in the first 30 days, I mean, if they're not putting in the effort, I mean, if they're not, knocking the doors or doing the social media content that they need to drive leads in, I mean, they're basically just going to keep themselves out. I mean, I tell, like, like you see Jared right there. He's collared shirt, clean cut, ready to kill it today. You know what I mean? Up and today. You're just not fit in here, not hyper focused on being successful. Being successful is not only in roofing, being successful outside of roofing, being a positive role model outside on Saturday and Sunday in the evenings. Usually we can tell, about 30 to 45 days if somebody's going to make it out. I mean, a lot of people here that just do like roofs, a month. I mean, most people here are doing three roofs, 3 to 5 roofs a week at least.
It's awesome. No, it's incredible, man. So the two things that I heard, first was just, I really agree that success is everything in life. It's not just business. It's how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that's what I'm hearing from you. And also have seen through your promotions of the fitness activities that you do, to being out there in the field with your team, even just the personal stuff with your family, of sharing that. It just seems like you encompass being successful in every area of your life. Has that been something that you had to grow into, or do you feel that you kind of always had that mindset, or what helped you really embrace that?
I got sober about 11 years ago. So once you get involved in that, I mean, we sign up for races. Like me and Jared are racing a 30-mile event tomorrow.
All right,
like
so who's winning?
He's beat me one time.
All right.
One time, but that's the competition, right?
Yep.
Like, he couldn't wait to put that $2 million in a day. He done text me this morning, I'm hitting $2 million a day.
Awesome.
Or like, I killed it last month. I sold like $200 and something thousand last month, and I hit the leaderboard, and he'll put like the eyes on me. But look at that year to date. Like, that's what I'm saying. If you got to have thick skin working with this type of competition too. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you got to. There's some real animals in this room.
Well, it's friendly competition too, and competition always forces you to do your best. So I've been wanting to get back into running myself for that reason. Just that really pushes you to encompass being successful in every area.
Every area of life, you do the right thing when nobody's looking. You're training your body, especially at 45 years old. I'm still climbing roofs. I climb 5, 6, 7, 11 roofs a day. They're all steep and high. We don't do low slope stuff. We're all doing steep and high architectural roofs down here, 11, 12, 12, 12, 13, 12, every one of them. It's not only a hyper focus of sales, but it's a hyper focus of taking care of the body and doing the right thing when nobody's looking. I think is the most important thing in roofing, man. We have such a bad stigma and culture. Oh, these roofers are going to rip you off. Don't sign that AOB, don't sign this, don't do that. But when you change that, it says you got 5,000 followers on Facebook, and they're all real estate agents and all potential clients. Are you putting out the type of content that allows you to go look for the leak in the living room, or actually be at this $4 million, $5 million home?
Really? That's awesome. So with that, I didn't necessarily prepare this question, but you've brought up a few times of sharing social media posts, even with your team. Do you encourage specific type of content to be pushed out from your company, or just kind of ideas, or Can you kind of share a little bit of examples with that?
No, no politics.
Look, what's on?
Rude.
We had a little pause for that. Do you mind just waiting 1 second? I'm muting one real quick, and then there was a pause kind of with your audio in and out. So we'll try that again.
So no politics.
Yep.
No politics.
Yep.
No religious. No vaccine talk. You're always on stage as far as on sales. Positive mindset, positive attitude. Take care of your responsibilities as an individual. And, nobody, there's no, how much money are you going to make to argue with somebody on Facebook? All you're going to do is run 50% of your customers off.
So much wasted energy, too.
What?
Yep.
You guys think, you run it, like Jared, he's doing 2 million. Chad's on here. He's at 1.7 million. Joshua's going to hit 1 million. Dude, a cup of coffee with them is worth probably $10,000 in knowledge they have. So why would you go back and forth with a stranger about who you think president should be?
I completely agree. Completely agree. That's awesome. Going question 5. How do you train/teach your sales reps for success? And do you even have to teach them? Is there a kind of a set, you're coming in, joining the company, here are the procedures we want you to follow step by step? Or is it more of, here's the principles we live by, and giving them more of leeway of them figuring it out? Can you kind of share your mindset on that?
Basically, when they walk in the office, they're going to see some people that are already killing it and been killing it for a while. It's not a fluke. All these guys have been hitting millions and millions of dollars for years. Shannon in the background right there with Chad in the picture, he's been with me for about 7.5 years now, and he's hit $1 million every year. So they ride with me or Shannon or Jared right here. And they just see, it's just, it's the culture here, but it's a step-by-step situation. It's a huge team here. There's 71 reps here, and there's 5 people.
That's a lot. And that's where I'm trying to get that information out of you of, like, how do you keep that organized moving forward?
I usually do about in-house training. The guys usually ride with me for at least the first 30 days.
That's awesome.
A new income, like a new person coming on. And we're not taking guys unless they're industry guys anyways.
So you prefer having industry guys joining your team?
At $40 million that we did this year, that we ain't got time to make somebody that works at QT into a roofer.
Okay. And so you're taking a seasoned person in the industry and then teaching them the success and culture and just letting them see the experience of what you're doing out in the field?
Basically, because the knowledge is power in roofing nowadays. With all the denials that we have, the carriers are pushing back. Well, the carriers aren't pushing back at Perimeter Roof, and they're writing the checks in the driveway. State Farm's writing the checks in the driveways for us. So there's something different going on, So it's not about it being a lot of damage. It's about the knowledge.
It's awesome. That was kind of, the main questions that I had. Overall, what I heard is just, it's about being the example as the leader to create that culture of everyone competing in a healthy way to bring out the best within them is really what I heard coming out of you. I usually have a chat going on, but kind of want to open it up just to questions. We have, I think, 11 to 12 people. I was trying to think of an organized way to do this, but we can kind of hop in if somebody would like to ask a question, just kind of make sure nobody's speaking. And do we have any questions in the room? Your mute's probably on if you'd like to turn it off.
Hey, you got a question? Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Yep.
All right, cool. So I've had, I feel like I've had bad luck bringing in guys from the industry to and training them, with our, I feel like I'm just not like, they interview really well, and then when I bring them in, they've had bad habits or whatever. And I've had a little bit better luck bringing in, or I've had better luck bringing in guys that don't have industry knowledge, but just are great salespeople, and then training them to be training them on the roofing side. So I guess just like, what advice would you give to me? Because I'd love to be able to bring in guys from the industry that have that experience, and but yeah, I just want to get your advice on that.
Yeah, do it. And now if you're building a new team, right? And you do have time to personally train guys, the whole process. And that's a great thing, because that's how we did start off. The guys, taking the industry guys, yeah, they learn bad habits at other companies. The biggest thing when they come in the door here, hey, what's your job nimbus looks like? What's your AccuLinks look like? Let's see what you did last year. You know what I mean? Why did you leave the other company? You know, if the company's paying 50/50 and they're paying true to that, there really shouldn't be a reason for them to leave, right? Either they outgrew the company by numbers or the culture wasn't good. But a lot of times the reason they outgrew that other company is the company probably allowed them to outgrow them. You know what I mean? So especially if it's some guys that have been at 4 companies in 2 years, obviously, so I would veer from those guys. We do veer from those guys, but you take a seasoned veteran, you know, $1 million producer somewhere else. I mean, they probably could easily do 2 million here, 1.8, 1.7.
And that was kind of my question, because we had a girl that approached us that she's been selling, and I haven't actually, really sat down and been able to speak with her, but supposedly she's been selling consistently, 90 to 120,000 per month, all door knocking. And so I've been just like, it's intriguing for me to, to be able to try to recruit her, because she does want to come work for us, just because I've had the other issues. But yeah, so that's really good tips. I appreciate it.
Figure out, have the heart. Why did you leave? I mean, just say, be honest with me. I mean, why did you leave? Why have you been at 4 companies in 1 year? Why have you been at 5 companies in 3 years? There's I promise you, it's not the company's fault. You're getting a bad apple.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Diego, for hopping in there. Anybody else got a question that you'd like to hop in and ask?
Probably good.
All right, looks like everybody's solid. So,
hey, if no one else, I have plenty of questions. I can keep. But I just figured I'd give someone else that.
Go.
How do you balance leading a team and going out and selling? Because I feel like I was selling. I was selling, and my production manager was building, and between the two of us, we made it happen, and we were really successful with that. But now, as we're obviously recruiting and training, it's just more difficult to be able to do that. And maybe it's a different stage of the business, or I just want to get your thoughts on that.
They just they got to be patient, and they got to be willing to ride. As you're riding, you're selling, you're running your appointments. Just have them shadow you. Don't have them asking. Just say, hey, ride with me for a week first, and watch me. Ask questions along the way. That's the best way, because you can't train. We tried that. We tried to train people in the office and send them out the door. That doesn't work. It's real life experience. You got to find somebody that can not only they have to be able to sell. They got to be good enough looking to be in a 7-figure house. They got to be able to climb. They got to at least be able to do 8th grade math, right? And that seems harder and harder to find. And even some people can't wait. Some people can't wait to get paid. That's one of the biggest questions that we ask them. Hey, how quick do you get done? Roofing is, if you can't wait 60 days back first back. Somebody that's hungry like that is going to be really hard. Unless you give them draws on checks and stuff like that. You got to find that balance in there as far as that situation. Hey, you got to be realistic when they come in the office. Hey, are you needing to get paid next Friday? Because this is a commission-based only job, and you're getting paid when you're back in checks. Oh yeah, I got. Well, you know what? Come back and see me when you got about $5,000 in the bank. That's because if not, they're just sitting there chasing. You're wasting your time. Let you give them a draw on each check or something. You know what I mean? Something like that. But somebody that's trying to get into roofing needs to be a little bit more established than somebody that's living check to check, in my opinion.
Can you speak on the leaderboard?
Oh yeah.
Tracking their KPIs on a weekly, monthly basis?
KPIs meaning, I'm sorry.
What KPIs are you guys looking at for your reps, and what does your leaderboard look like?
Well, we just posted the newest leaderboard about 30 minutes ago. It's on AccuLinks. It's just the year to date. So you'll see Jared, he's on here somewhere, and then Jay's on here too. Jay just hit $1 million for the year, but he's only been working 6 months. Jared just hit $2 million. But it's just basically we have about a square price we like to sell at. Mm-hmm. That's the only really requirement. If we go lower than that price, they'll call me and say, hey, we're going to build this one, but we're going to get 3 referrals. You know what I mean? But it's year to date and it's month per month. So we do goals. Like if you hit $100,000 that month, you get an extra $1,000. If you hit $140,000 that month, you get $1,400, and so on and so on.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
So, but yeah, we post that leaderboard. I mean, it's a healthy competition, man. That leaderboard needs to be present. And if somebody gets in their feelings here about that leaderboard, then this ain't the place for them. This is
Got to have that competition, right?
there's a lot of alpha males in the industry, right? And a lot of headhunters, and that's who you want on your team. I mean, that's who I want on my team. So I want motivated by money. The salary's cancer. So, somebody says, debate, what's the minimum, like, this isn't for.
So another question is basically, you have those really high top performers. What do you really think separates them, like the top versus the rest that aren't doing, the million plus?
The biggest thing is being organized. Good looking truck. Everybody makes fun of those big trucks, but guess what? Some of these front ends these guys are picking up are $30,000, $40,000. The front end can't be more than the truck. It doesn't look like you need to be on a 3-day binger when you go to do the contract. So being smelling good, going to the gym, being presentable, all the way down to your truck, to your shoes, everything. You're in sales. Your first impression is everything, So if you're doing the $7 million, if you're doing if you're doing $4 or $5 million homes, you're not going to close that deal in a Ford Ranger. I don't care what nobody says. The front end check like it's more than your whole life. So it's looking the part. You're in sales, man. So cool. Fit your customer, right? We're doing tile roofs that are 150 squares. Dude, don't have paint all down.
I have a personal question kind of geared more towards what I do. Let me just find it real quick. So a question that I have is from the standpoint, so obviously you use AccuLink CRM. Are you very on top of your sales reps going through AccuLinks and making sure they're taking proper notes, going through the different parts in AccuLinks and making sure that everything is up to date? Or do you find that that's not 100% needed, as well as if just like the main parts are being hit?
That's the most important thing. We require about 150 pictures per house.
Okay.
Everything has to be in there. The front end check has to be uploaded. There has to be at least 150 pictures per house. The contract worksheet has to be right. The contract has to be right. Before a job gets approved.
Do you provide a checklist for that, or is that kind of just training and then they see it and then they know what to look for? Or do you have like an actual checklist that you provide of like this needs to be done every single time?
Yeah, they do that in the office, and then they'll do that with the manager too. And then they'll job to be approved, and then when it gets kicked back, they'll send them notes. Hey, you don't have enough pictures. Hey, where's pictures of the pool? Or the back of the house is missing. We require a lot out of the reps here. And see the numbers that they do.
As you should. Is there a sales manager that's kind of monitoring all of that through the AccuLink's progress?
Yeah, he was just on here. But it's Shannon. He's been with us since day one, and he's phenomenal. Cool. And he keeps everything we call it the SOP here, the standard operating procedure to get a job approved. Yep. Is multiple process. It's not just throw it in there. Hey, let's see if it gets built. No, this is a $3 million home. There needs to be 150, 200 pictures of this house. If we break something, we have it all time stamped. Hey, either charge back the crew. It's at a job cost. It comes from the sales rep, the company's, side of it. We all three split it, but there's got to be a picture of it,
Yep. That's awesome. Really organized in that way, which is cool. Is kind of open any more other questions from anybody? Everybody should be muted, so if you do have a question, go ahead and hit the mute button.
I got one for you, Ray.
Cool.
How do you, after the guys have been with you for over a month, how do you cut them loose and making sure that they have confidence in themselves to continue on doing it on their own?
After a month?
Yes.
But you already know the process here. You're gonna probably be out. We're probably gonna be with you at least a year doing your adjuster meeting. So yeah, there's nobody really going on their own now. I mean, they can go set appointments on their own, but during the inspection process and the adjuster meeting, they've pretty much got training wheels on them 9 and 12 months here.
Okay.
That's all.
So nothing left here.
Yeah, I know. Y'all just keep on growing. I see y'all over there. Hey, I'll be home next week.
Hey, David, what's up, man? I see that you got your hand raised. You have a question you'd like to ask?
Yeah. What's going on, guys? Raymond, what's up, buddy, man? First time caller, long time listener, dog.
Dude, I started following out one of your first videos. I still got it recorded talking about being a productive rep about a year ago.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Hey, brother, my question is this. So I'm getting into the season. We're a year into business. The most sales reps I've had at one time in the last year was probably about 7, and I'm back down to my original 3 again, right? Like I went up to 7, now it's 3 plus me. So we're kind of fluctuating between that 3 and that 7 year round, and we're trying to break that to where we're having multiple sales reps that are hitting their sales goals. And so what I started doing in the last probably about 6 months was paying myself a weekly salary of $500 a week. That way I'm not making money off of going out and selling roofs. My job, my business pays me to get out into the field and knock doors with my sales guys. And so obviously I make money when they make money, right? But what I'm trying to do is figure out a way with all the other shit that you do in your first year, growing, scaling, creating your SOPs, focusing on branding, things like that. What is the best way you have found to not only use your branding or your culture that you've created to attract talent and recruit talent, but how do you motivate them to continuously produce at an expected level?
I wouldn't even worry about, like I said, your brand is great because I see it on my Facebook all the time, and you're way out in Texas, so you're doing well in that. No, I think the biggest thing is focus on those 3 guys. Get through this winter months. I know you're in Texas, and it probably really don't get cold there, but canvassers, man. And just invest in your 3. You'll organically get sales rep from when they start seeing those 3 killing. And that's the base thing that happened with us. I think, the leads, buying the leads, and then just investing in canvassers. With those 3, the 3 guys that are consistent, with the 3, I would just look. I've reps twice now, and this is the first time I've had a solid over 60 reps. But the first time we had like 80 something, and then we went all the way back down to it's quality. Yeah, it's quality over quantity in these reps, man. Because, dude, you're out there trying to train somebody that signs 1 roof a month, and then your guy that signs 5 to 10 roofs a month, he ain't getting the attention that I think it's basically, man, have solid $1 million producers that have canvassers. My top 10 guys all work with canvassers. Kat, she's on here right below you on the screen. She trains all my canvassers and pay your canvassers. Kat's goals to hit $100,000 this year, and she's almost there. And she's a canvasser.
Can you dive into a little bit more of like how you are bringing your canvassers? So it sounds like they're in-house. Are you correct? And then kind of what your pay scale is for them, just for everyone here? Can you repeat that one more time? It went in and out.
5% of the profit.
Okay.
So that's the deal with the rep. You see reps doing $2 million, they wouldn't have no life at all. It's having solid reps. Like Kat will go out and sign 9, 10, 15 roofs a week, and they're all 50 squares or better. Her and Chad are killing it. She splits half the responsibility with Chad. They split the deal 25-25.
Cool.
It's because they both have young kids too, so you're not burning them out either. You're pushing these big numbers, right? But it's a whole team. It takes all this office staff. We're all a huge team. Like I said, at Perimeter, nobody works for Raymond Little. I work with you, but you don't work for me. I'm not no boss, no nothing. They'll say, "Hey, what's up, boss?" Being a smart ass, but they well, we're all just a team. So, but I think, Dave, that's where the industry's going, man. You know, lead gen and canvassers, man. Have you like 7 or 8 just kill with and have 10 canvassers, but investing in the ones don't even try to just invest in ones that are trying to kill. Y'all go out, kill it. Everybody get a deal a day, make it through the winter. Y'all gonna get baseball size hell here in about 5 months anyway. So you just you know what I mean. It's gonna be landing in the kitchen. Y'all gonna be buying kitchen countertops here in a while. But yeah, dude, just invest in those 3, dude. You're a year in. You're killing it anyway. So I think just build an amnesty team, man, and just keep rolling. Yeah, damn right. Just keep.
And you said, Raymond, sorry to interrupt, brother, but you said you pay those canvassers a percentage of the commission that the salesperson would get, like the salespeople hire and pay their own canvassers, or does the company hire and pay the canvassers?
So we bust down the mill, we'll bust down the job, and we pay them, because that keeps them from imploding on their own. Yes, I pay Cat to train canvassers. So everybody here eat. The canvassers eat. Everybody needs to be eating. When everybody's sitting at the tables, $150,000, there's no animosity. You know what I mean? The common effort has the whole thing.
It's awesome.
So I think you can't have a crack kid on the roof wrong. You gotta pay your canvassers right, man. They're a part of the team. They're bringing in the job, so they need to be paid. The industry needs to change that aspect. You paying these canvassers $1,500 a class. That you gotta pay. They got. I think people like they did 1980 thousands. Man, nobody's trying to make $75,000. Canvasser got $800. Nobody. I think it's the right way.
I appreciate. I was getting like it's 80% of that, and I don't know if it's the internet on our end. So Raymond, after this, man, I would love to pick your brain just kind of through writing messages to kind of get that details out, because it sounded like David was really interested in getting that information out of you. And it was like 80% in and out on that. So with that. Okay. I just appreciate your time so much, Raymond. I think everyone in this room got so much value out of what you just shared. Going to be splicing up this video, posting it on Facebook. If anybody has questions for Raymond, I would love, if it's okay with you, kind of getting some comments on the video, and then maybe we can do short little videos of replying, or just even a quick message, man. But I know you're super busy. You got a lot going on. Good luck with the competition this weekend, and just thank you very much for everybody that joins. Really appreciate your time today. Let's everybody have a great weekend, keep killing it, and I'll be excited to see everybody's continued success throughout the rest of this year. So thank you, Raymond. Appreciate your time today, man.
I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, dude.